If you thought what Porsha said about Angela's husband was bad, it's 10 times messier and dirtier than we ever thought. Because it turns out that Porsha started plotting on Charles Oakley before she ever filmed one scene with Angela.
When it looks like Porsha Williams started plotting on Angela Oakley's husband before they even met.
Angela Oakley. Now, I don't know Angela, but I hear her husband is everything.
Have y'all ever had a threesome?
No threesome.
I didn't hear your husband was spicy.
He can be.
No, I heard something about Charles.
Really? Wait a minute. Talk about it.
No, wait.
No. What did you hear about my husband?
Porsha saying she better stop before I her husband.
Oh, you dirty mother.
So that whole idea about Angela making Porsha so mad that she just made that comment to talk ish, or that it was just the Henny, is complete and utter deception.
Wow. When you really think of that, that is so true, because people are seeing it as she been had this man on her mind to say something like that.
Yeah.
And then to get up there and then make light of it and say, oh, she apologized to the public. What the heck you mean to the public, girl? How about apologizing to Angela? Where is her personal apology? You apologize to the public?
Crazy.
Girl, you had this on your mind all along.
Yeah, she just want to call Angela creepy, like it was creepy that Angela was recording. When the creepy thing is she down there talking about that woman's husband like that. The creepy thing is the way she skedaddled herself out of there when Angela approached her. So her acting like this was just, oh no, it was a late night kiki. She don't know anything. She didn't say anything. It's a lie, because you saw in the clip. Y'all saw in the clip, and that was from May. So that was when they first started filming, and she said she didn't know Angela. First, gonna mispronounce her name.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know Angel.
She did
like
that
she
on
didn't
purpose.
know. Yeah, did that on purpose. Mispronounce her name, then say her husband is everything. What? I heard her husband is everything.
Ooh,
What you mean everything? You what? What does that even mean? But it's like we were saying in the other videos. To her, Angela's husband is everything that is doing everything right. He's providing for his wife. We said that in the other videos, and she actually said she heard her husband was everything.
Oh my God.
Then less than 2 weeks later, because like they started filming in May, that first clip when she said that he was everything, that was from around like May 17th. And then they had that restaurant, they had the dinner at the bank, at the vault.
Right.
And that was only about 2 weeks later, because it was right before Kenya's grand opening. And that was in the beginning of June when Kenya had that grand opening. So maybe about the end of May, beginning of June, they had that dinner at the vault. And then Porsha, playing that little game, she says, oh, I know something about Charles. I heard something about Charles.
Right.
But before she said that, because that's the comment that everyone was focusing on.
Right.
That I heard something about Charles. Before she said that, she asked, do y'all do 3 people?
Oh.
She said, do y'all
Snap.
do 3 people?
Oh, snap.
Angela immediately cut that off. Was like, no.
Oh, snap.
Nobody else in the bed. Nobody else, all that. But she said, and do y'all do 3? So she was easing her way in. And that's how she's done it before. Because if y'all think back to Kandi, when Porsha came out with that, someone told her that they was going to try to put something in her, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they was going to take her to the dungeon and blah, blah, blah. Well, when Kandi had her receipts to prove that Porsha wasn't afraid of them and that all that was lies, Porsha texted Kandi how she wanted to do something with Kandi. Basically, she was talking about being in the bed with Kandi and her husband.
Right.
So it's how she eases her way in. It's the same mode of operation.
Exactly. She eases her way in with the women to sort of deceive them and then try to start something with the 2 of them together. Mm-hmm. So then she has access to that woman's husband.
Exactly.
And this is a history of hers.
Yeah.
She has done this throughout this show.
Yep.
I mean, and Kenya, try to warn everyone because it was in that scene when they had to pull the other girl away because Kenya was saying, I told y'all she was crazy.
Right.
I told y'all she was crazy.
Right.
And they continue to let this girl come on here and do this physical stuff again and again.
Right. And it was that boat scene
yes.
when Cynthia and Porsha got into it.
Oh, yeah.
And this was after the reunion, season 6 reunion, when she tried to put hands on Kenya. So I feel Cynthia had every right to feel threatened and intimidated when Porsha's big behind was straddling her on that lounger. Because if any of you guys remember, when Porsha initially struck out against Kenya in that reunion, Cynthia was sitting in between the two. Porsha reached out to try to grab that megaphone from Kenya. In the process, she hit Cynthia in the chest, which ended up exposing Cynthia's, So Cynthia has already experienced or been in the crossfire
of this
girl. So when this girl comes and stands over, straddles Cynthia.
Yes, she did.
Cynthia had every right to kind of, push her like, girl, go move.
Exactly, because
what? And then Porsha want to take it to another level, like, Cynthia did something so bad to her because she touched her first. And she comes back at her, so Cynthia had no choice but to push out with her legs.
Exactly.
Simple as that. And then Kandi want to come over there when she was pregnant at the time, because this is before Kandi knew the levels, the depths that Porsha would sink to. Kandi comes over there or tries to go over there. I want to see what happened. I want to try to resolve. And Kenya had to drag her. She was like, Kandi, you pregnant. That girl crazy.
Right.
You don't know what she gonna do. Kandi's like, she won't hit me. Now, she operating in the fact that when Kenya was, the one who was in that girl's sights. Right. Kandi advocated for Porsha to keep her job.
Exactly.
And so did Nene. Nene advocated for Porsha to keep her job when she did what she did to Kenya.
They did.
And then, so when Candy's like, when that happened with Cynthia, she won't hit me. She won't do nothing to me.
She certainly
because
did say
she
that.
She advocated for her. She wouldn't dare or whatnot.
That's what she thought.
Turn around, one season after she did what she did with Cynthia, then here she comes spreading lies about Kandi and her husband. And it doesn't matter that Phaedra was the one that told her. It's still Porsha who's the one that spread it and put 20 on 10 and make it like it was something that was actually going down.
You know what?
She
backdoored her.
So it did not matter that Kandi had advocated for her to keep her job. And Kandi got so mad she was almost in tears because she couldn't do nothing to that girl, and knew that she had advocated for her when she should have had Kenya's back, because everyone knew that was wrong what Porsha did at that time. So Kenya tried to warn this girl crazy.
She tried to warn them, and you know what? I saw that, and that's what made Kandi so mad. The fact that she defended this girl.
Exactly.
She took up for this girl, and Kandi really was in tears.
Yes, she was.
Todd had to hold her back and everything, and she couldn't believe that this girl had done this to her after she defended her in that Kenya situation.
Exactly.
She couldn't believe this, and this girl has come out here and put that narrative out, which is illegal to do that to someone.
Right.
What she said that Kandi would do to someone's drink.
Exactly.
Illegal. So she put that out, and this had Kandi in tears. She couldn't believe it because she was so hurt. Because she defended her. But girl, Kenya on the scene, she said, let's get away from here.
Exactly.
That girl is crazy.
Exactly.
This is a history of her.
It's a history. She keeps doing this type of behavior, and she doesn't care who she ends up going against. And the fact that she has just been allowed to get away with it is very telling. Because who does she know on production, who's an executive, who's higher up on the Housewives thing, on Bravo, that she keeps getting away with this type of behavior? Because here's another thing, what's very interesting, her and Nene, they were getting into it, going back and forth on the show. at one point. They were getting into it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Nene's off the show.
Nene's gone.
And
girl.
then, guess who's off the show now too? Kandi's off the show.
Oh.
So Kandi's
snap.
off the show. Kenya's off the show.
Oh.
Nene's off the show.
Oh.
But Porsha's still standing after all the mess that she's done. But anyway,
girl.
when they were trying to figure out what the new cast was going to be for season 16, they were tossing names in the hat. And you know whose name I think came up? I think Nene's name came up. Even though there was drama between Nene and Bravo,
yes,
I think Nene's name came up because what happened was Porsha sold herself the story. She sold her story to Bravo to get back on the show,
right,
saying that she and Simon were going to show them this lavish lifestyle. They were going to be jet setting. They were going to go here and there. They were going to be able to film in this beautiful mansion.
Mm-hmm.
So RHOA was like, oh yeah, this is the storyline. This is something.
Yeah.
You know, because I bet you Shamia wasn't even going to be brought back.
I bet she
because
wasn't.
she had that lavish lifestyle.
I bet she wasn't.
I think Shamia was brought in because now they didn't have anyone who had that type of lifestyle to film. So they needed to bring Shamia in.
That's
because
right.
Porsha ended up filing for divorce.
That's
after
right.
Simon was exposed for his, tricky dealings.
Oh.
Allegedly tricky dealings. But so what happened was once that storyline fell out the window,
yeah,
because Simon got exposed allegedly, and Porsha said she was divorcing him, that storyline was gone.
Oh.
And then Simon filed a motion where she couldn't film in the house.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that story, Andy Cohen did some show and said how he was completely surprised. Like he didn't know where that came from.
He certainly did.
And the next thing you know, maybe about 2-3 months later, Nene comes out on her IG and says how Porsha basically told Netflix that she was difficult to work with.
Girl, I remember that.
When they were going to do both be on the scene on the Upshaws, which is Kim Field's show.
Girl, I remember that.
She said how Porsha said that she couldn't do the scene with her because Nene was basically they had problems in the past or whatnot. She basically tried to get Nene thrown off of that.
The lies.
Right. And I think it's because someone had brought up the idea of maybe Nene possibly coming back to RHOA for season 16. So she put that out there to make Nene less of a draw.
Oh my God, I remember that time.
And when Nene confronted her over it, Portia's gonna say, oh, when she said she was divorced and she didn't check on Nene didn't check on little sis. Like that's the reason she told people that. That's why they got beat.
Cap.
Yeah. So it's just crazy to me
God.
that Nene, one of the ones who advocated for Porsha to keep her job after she did that to Kenya, she was the one covering her mouth so she didn't say nothing else like, oh, don't let her do it to, whatever that was. Kandi gone, Nene gone. She turned around. That meant nothing to her that they had advocated for her. She turned around and was like, be gone. And somebody was like, okay, whatever you want, Porsha.
Girl, you have just chronicled the whole history of this girl's behavior and turning on these people.
Yep, and that's probably why Kenya was just all in those scenes when Porsha showed them exactly who she was. Kenya was there. She was just shaking her head. She was. Because she knew. She had told them, but they didn't want to do anything when it was just happening to Kenya.
Oh my goodness. This girl had a history of turning on her castmates, trying to be number one, trying to take that throne, because I remember so vividly during that time with Nene, and the vibes were in the area about, oh, Nene could possibly be brought back. I remember that time, and then all of a sudden, this happened. That girl been working in the background for the longest against these castmates.
Yeah, she wants to be the last one standing up there as like the queen of the housewives. But
it's not happening.
No one wants that gutter behavior.
It's not happening.
She knows better. She was the one who was supposed to have been like a pastor, a youth pastor. She was preaching.
Oh, girl, that's right.
She knows better. She knows to do better, but yet,
what's happening is she's showing that this is some sort of desperate behavior because she knows to do better, but she won't do better. I remember somebody saying in the comments that she was an evangelist,
Yeah.
and she was preaching someplace.
Yeah, we
Oh
saw
my
it too. Yeah, when
goodness.
she was yes.
Oh
yes.
my goodness. And now, so see, this is giving off desperation.
Mhm.
This is giving off desperation. This is giving off broke.
Mhm.
Because, girl, if you know to do better, why are you acting like this? I really did used to like Porsha. And I said,
Yeah.
what happened to you?
Mm.
But what happened to her? Desperation,
Yep.
money grabbing.
Yep.
And that's it. That'll do it every time.
Yeah.
That will do it every time,
The
y'all.
love of money. Y'all remember
That
that song?
will do it.
For the love of money. That's the song. It's that I think it's an OJ song.
Yes. For the love of it. That's
people
it.
will do anything for the love of money, and it's that part in there towards the end where they like, no good, no good, no good. that's how this girl act. No
Oh
good.
my God.
No good.
You capped it. So that's it. That's all.
All right, let us know what you think in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.